What's up, guys? Enkiri here, and today we're going to go over a recent workout of mine where we're absolutely pulverizing the posterior chain. And it starts off with max effort sprints, then I move on to the hang power snatch, and then I finish up the day with some hip thrusting and RDLs for volume. So kicking things off with the sprints here. Now these are max effort 10-yard flying sprints, and I actually went out to the track for these, and I moved really well here. I actually get much better bite on the track, and I spring off the track a lot better. I have much more pop in my step on the track than I do on asphalt. And so with the free lap data that I've collected here, I can see that both my average speed and my peak speed, my max speed, are significantly faster on the track as compared to the asphalt. And so I ended up hitting a PR time here of 0.82 seconds on the final 10-yard fly of the day, and that is the highest max velocity that I've ever achieved while sprinting. So these felt really good. I felt loose, I felt like I was moving well, and if you go back and you watch the first set, you'll see that I was running just as fast as that car that was trying to chase me down, so that's a win too. I can run just as fast as a car, right? Anyway, after the sprints, I packed up and I went home and I got to the weights a little bit later in the day. It took about an hour or two, and then I went back out and finished up the workout. And remember, my formula for athleticism is move your body explosively, then move weights explosively, and then lift heavy weights. So it's a three-part formula. And so we kicked it off here with an explosive body move, the sprint, right? Now I'm moving into the part where I move weights explosively with the hang power snatch. And here I have been working this protocol, this set and rep scheme for a couple of months. I started with 170 pounds and I did 8 sets of 2 reps with that weight. And then the following week I kept the weight the same, but I did 10 sets of 2 reps with it. And then the week after that I jumped up to 175 pounds. But I went back down to 8 sets. And so I followed that protocol for about 8 weeks in total. And I took it from 170 pounds up to 185 pounds. And this here's the final workout of that training block, which is 185 pounds for 10 sets of 2 reps. And it went really well overall. Most of the reps were pretty smooth. They were definitely really explosive. I was getting really good power here. And on most of the reps, I was putting the bar pretty much exactly where I wanted to put it. So controlled power. That's good. That's what I need. And I really like this high set but low rep protocol for Olympic lift variations right now, even when the training weight isn't all that heavy. For example, I have done a power snatch from the pocket, this exact same position, with 225 pounds. And so this weight here, 185 pounds, represents just 82% of my 1 rep max. But I'm still just doing doubles with it, never more than 2 reps in a set. But I'm doing a lot of sets, 10 total sets. And so I'm still getting in 20 reps in total, 20 solid and strong working reps here because I'm doing 10 sets. And so that's plenty of work overall, right? And because I'm not creating much fatigue with each set, every single rep that I do is smooth and crisp and powerful. And along with that, I also don't really have to rest all that long between sets. So because these sets are not actually all that intensive, right? I'm not coming near the limit. And so they aren't very fatiguing. And so once I find the groove and I find the bar path here, I can basically just keep doing this forever. If I really wanted to, I could probably do 15 or 20 sets here. And I would say I'm only resting probably about 90 seconds in between sets. I think that in total, this 10-set protocol took me roughly 25 minutes to complete, not including the warm-up sets, obviously, but still, that is pretty damn efficient for knocking out 10 high-quality sets like this. And so I'm really pleased with that. This has been a really good protocol for me to get in some good work, and I need that efficiency right now because the sprint work takes so damn long to get through sometimes, especially when I decide to drive out to the track. You're talking about a 2, maybe even a 3-hour investment right there because the drive time is about 30 minutes each way for me. And so if I want to hit the weights after that, I don't want that part of the workout to take more than an hour because, I've got other shit that I've got to do in a day besides just work out. And so I don't do this type of thing every single week just because it's so time consuming. But this protocol here for the Power Snatch has been a really good way for me to get in some really good work without it taking up all that much extra time. And so then after the Power Snatch work, we move on to the final phase of the formula for athleticism, which is to lift heavy weights. Now, relatively speaking here, the weight isn't actually all that heavy for me because I'm focusing on volume for the posterior chain right now, but the spirit of the concept is there. Obviously, you need to undulate workloads and you need to undulate training volumes and whatnot and all that over time, but that really goes without saying. So anyway, here I've got the hip thrust and I've got the RDL, and I'm actually alternating between the two exercises. And it sounds counterintuitive in some respects, but I've actually grown to really like pairing these two movements. They're both posterior chain exercises, but first we have the hip thrust with the glute emphasis and the emphasis on that big glute max contraction at the top of the rep. And then with the RDL, it's really more of a hamstring emphasis that I'm going for. So I try to set that lift up to where I basically just keep the pelvis locked in an anteriorly rotated position throughout the entire set. Instead of trying to flex the glutes through at the top of the rep, I just move back down into the next rep. So it's kind of a bodybuilder style here. And I'm saying that completely unironically. It's kind of a bodybuilder style here thing that I'm doing in a way where I'm just moving through the reps and focusing on keeping the tension on the hamstrings for the entire set. So basically, I try to get a big stretch on the hammies as I move through the eccentric phase. Then I explode back up to the top, and then I just move immediately right back into the next rep. And then with the hip thrust, it's really similar. I'm just focusing on the glutes instead. So during the eccentric there, I try to really dig into hip flexion as much as I can to get a big stretch on the glutes at the bottom. And then I deliberately keep the weight supported for the entire set. I do not deload the weight onto the floor at the bottom because I want my glutes to have to support the bar in that stretch position at the bottom of the rep. And I try to move pretty deliberately here. I'm not trying to extend the hips very explosively during the concentric, but rather I'm just trying to really focus on moving well and really feeling out the glutes. And I think that this exercise actually has more value when it's done that way. Now, that said, I will probably move into a more explosive style with it in the future once I've got more weight on the bar and just kind of see what I can get out of it when I'm doing it that way too. But for now, this style has been working really well for me. So there you have it, guys. Posterior chain pulverization. I nailed my hamstrings and glutes with some explosive sprints. I nailed them again with some hang power snatches. And then I finished them off with some hip thrusts and some Romanian deadlifts. And that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And more importantly, I hope that you were able to take something useful away from it. Please remember to smash the like button before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And definitely leave me some love in the comments down below as well. And if you're interested in online coaching or training programs, be sure to visit my website, www.enkirielitefitness.com, for more details. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.